Alright, on to the second shine. I decided to structure these videos a little differently. Probably not going to follow the story as much as some other Let's Players, so probably going to be some things that I do out of sequence like this. I usually don't see people get this as their second shine, but it's available, so I figured why not. I know I could go to Chianta Village, like, out of sequence as well. This is possible to get up there and you could, just get all the shine sprites top there. But I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I'm not that skilled at sequence breaking and stuff. That's why if you ever hear me mention sequence breaking, like you probably did in the last episode, I'm usually just like being kind of sarcastic, tongue-in-cheek about it, because I'm not a speed runner or anything. Yeah, another thing is you'll probably notice that I cut out all the cutscenes, well, most of the cutscenes. That's because you could find them online. I'm not sure if there's a risk of copyright with those. I guess there's a risk of copyright with anything you do. Anybody could just claim your video for any reason, and if you're using someone else's properties, they might get mad at you and try to take you down, even if you're using fair use or whatever. But yeah, now I'm just gonna move on, do all the blue coins that you can get at this point in the game that I'm aware of. I mean, there might be more sequence breaking stuff, but I'm not that good at that, so I'm not gonna try. Yeah, you'll notice I get lost a couple times. Sewers have always been confusing to me, so you'll see me get confused and go the wrong way like I'm doing right now and just go in a loop. But yeah, I remember being so mind blown by the sewers when I was like really little when I started playing the game. I remember it was like, to me it was so cool that they started playing a totally different theme song and everything. I wasn't really that familiar with Mario yet, so I didn't know that this was like a throwback to the famous, everybody knows the famous underground Mario music. So I think my mom probably, because my mom was the youngest of her siblings and was kind of a part of her nieces and nephews, like, upbringing pretty big, and they used to play a lot of Nintendo and Sega and stuff. So I'm pretty sure I remember, like, going under into the sewers and this song coming on and my mom being like, "Hey, that's that song," and I didn't know what she was talking about. Because I mean, I think I might have played some Nintendo games on a computer, and they were like, those websites where people like upload Mario levels and stuff. I remember going on there years and years and years ago. It was probably like the Flash game websites and stuff, and it was like they'd put up Mario games, someone would port Mario or whatever onto the game. And I remember one of them was Donkey Kong, and it was just the first level over and over and over again, so I got pretty good at it. It was really hard to play on the computer, too. And then the other thing was, I remember going on one of those websites without an ad block, because I didn't know what that was, and then it was just like assaulted by pop-up. There were just so many different pop-ups, it was crazy. And I remember my parents were like, they did, I came off the website, they did something to the computer, probably something with increasing the spyware protection or whatever, because they ended up like taking me back onto that same website later, and like all the pop-ups were gone. your eyes didn't need to be bleached. It's so weird that that's another thing too, is the ads are like so cancerous right now. It's like you need eye bleach when you go on practically any website now. If you don't have an ad block, you just need it. Like YouTube also, it's like they're advertising pornography, they're advertising all those weird AI generated doctors commercials, all these weight loss things, all the different, some of them are probably scams, some of them might not be scams, but they're using like AI generated stuff, which makes me immediately question their legitimacy. Like if I read it in like a peer-reviewed scholarly article or whatever, I would be more willing to believe it. But seeing it in these weird AI generated commercials makes me question the validity of the information I'm hearing. But yeah, that's another thing, is YouTube's crazy ad block war, where I guess they're starting to accept that they're never going to be able to outsmart everyone. So now they're doing those things where it's like, if it senses that the ads aren't loading, it like ruins your experience or tries to ruin your experience by like slowing down and like skipping and like taking forever to load. But like the thing is, most people would rather just go through that. You generally like, I would rather go through that than have to sit there and watch pornography. I'm not here to watch porn. I'm here to probably learn something. That's generally what I do on YouTube, or I'm here for it to be background noise. And there's a funny story about using it as background noise, because I couldn't bring my normal music player out to the pool, because I have a backyard pool. And so I was in the pool, Mom comes out to join me, and we're listening to Roundabout by, it's actually Asia's cover of Roundabout. It was from the official performance Asia posted on their YouTube channel of the Fantasia concert. There must have been at least 3 ads played during Roundabout. So right at the beginning, as soon as the guitar goes dun 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 dun, and then an ad starts, and then ad finishes, song progresses. Not long later, maybe a minute or 2 later, another ad, and then again right before the end, another ad. And then during Time Again, at the beginning of the set, you were listening to Time Again, and like right as the song ends, it's this AI generated ad about like weight loss, and it plays this like comedically overdone like fart sound. It was so weird. It's so strange. But yeah, back to the game. Yes, I found all the blue coins, now I'm progressing the plot. Polluted piranhas are so weird. Like there's a lot of strange things in this game. I always like it. Well, like I said, it was really my big introduction to Mario. At least my legally sanctioned introduction to Mario. And so there's no Goombas in it. There's those things. There's like variations of them called stews. There's like strolling stews. There's swooping stews, swarming stews, I think. There's a bunch of different stews. And then there's this polluted piranha thing. And you never really get to see what it looks like normally. You only get to see what it looks like with all the paint on it. I think I remember as a child doing this, and I don't remember if it was this one specifically, but the Shadow Mario chases could get pretty annoying because you lose them, and when you're a child, you're not so skilled. Like look at this, I get them like right away. Like I don't know if that's because it's the Switch version and they made it easier, or if it's because the buttons are like more responsive or something. But anyway, I remember some of the Shadow Mario chases taking so long to do, and you'd lose them and the music would change, and like that was the big hint to you, is okay, the music has gone back to normal. So you've lost Shadow Mario, you'll be close to him and his music will, fade back in a little bit. But I just remember, like, some of them were so frustrating. I remember getting hurt chasing him, and like, I swear I remember running out of coins to refill my life somewhere. and just like really hesitating to chase after him because I kept bumping into him and getting hurt. But yep, we're coming up on the end of the video here, and right before it ends, I'm going to show you. It's not like a, it wouldn't be called a sequence break, I guess an inconsistency. But yep, that's it.
Mario. Okie dokie.